Hi guys and welcome back. This is RexGG with yet another review. Today we have new gear, new haircut, new everything. No, but wait, I'm the same. Anyway, we're going to do a review of the Deathadder Chroma from Razer, and as they state, the world's best gaming mouse. More power, more control, more color. Well, is it the best gaming mouse in the world? Follow me and we'll find out together. This is the Razer Deathadder Chroma review. Some history of the Deathadder lineup from Razer. These are the ones with the major changes. There are some in-between Deathadders with minor changes, but let's leave them aside. The first mouse in the series, the original Deathadder, it was released in late 2006. It is an optical mouse. It has the Avago S3668, 3.5G infrared sensor that can handle 1800 dpi, 1000 Hz in USB. The measurements is on the screen and it weighs 133 grams. It has 5 buttons, 3 on the top and 2 on the side. It is a right-handed mouse and has blue lighting. The second mouse in the series, the Deathadder 3500, it was released in late 2009. It has an optical sensor, a new one from Avago, the S3888, 3.5G infrared sensor that can handle 3500 dpi, 1000 Hz in USB. Measurements is on the screen and the weight is the same as the model before, 133 grams. 5 buttons, 3 on top and 2 on the side. It is a right-handed mouse and this time Razer updated to white-blue lighting. The third mouse in the series, the Deathadder 2013, it was released in 2012. And here is where the interesting changes are starting. This model has a new sensor as well. It is the Avago S3988 4G optical sensor that handles 6400 dpi. The measurements is on the screen, but the weight has been lowered. It is now 105 grams. And Razer also added the rubberized textured side grips. And now the mouse of the day, the fourth mouse in the series, the Deathadder Chroma. It was released in 2014 and now changed name. Razer added Chroma in the end. What does Chroma mean? Well, Chroma is actually the Greek word for color, and in Razer's world, all Chroma products have RGB lighting effects. The mouse have a ergonomic right-handed design with textured rubberized side grips. It has 10,000 dpi optical sensor, now the Avago S3989. It has Chroma lighting with 16.8 million colors. It is using the Razer Synapse program for all functions. 5 programmable buttons that can change, for example, keyboard function, macro, launch programs, change DPI and so on. It has 1000 Hz in the USB. It has on-the-fly sensitivity adjustments, which mean that you can bind one button on the mouse and then use the scrolling wheel to change your sensitivity. It has the always-on mode, which means that it will never go to sleep. Should handle movements up to 300 inches or 7.6 meters per second, and that is 50G acceleration. So if you are an alien with inhuman movements, you can also use the mouse. This is why the Deathadder is the most used mouse in Area 51. It has a 7 foot, 2 meter long, lightweight braided fiber cable that I barely notice, and that is a good thing. The measurements and weight is on the screen, and it is still the lower weight of 105 grams like the model before. The 2 main buttons have Omron switches. The thumb buttons are Kail switches from Kaiwa Electronics, a Chinese company. It has a matte black surface that is very comfortable. On the sides are the rubberized textured grip, which is useful when doing precise movements, and I actually enjoy them a lot. It has a gold-plated USB connector, and I emailed Razer to get some information about what this actually did in reality when using the mouse, and first I got the answer. Gold-plated USB, it actually does affect the latency of the connection between the device and the computer. In fact, most Razer devices use the same gold-plated USB. Then I replied with some examples with the article that I found on the internet that says that gold-plated USBs actually do not make any difference at all, and I will link them in the description below. And that I just wanted Razer to explain why it helps and why the articles are wrong. I'm not an expert in the area, but I just wanted Razer to explain it a bit more for me, because it is in fact they who claim it is better. And I got the reply. Your questions about our product can be considered as proprietary information and cannot be disclosed to the public. Some might even be considered as trade secrets. Alright, it ended there and Razer could not answer why the gold-plated USB connector is better. It may be not, until another time. Okay, so we're going to do a little sound test. Comparison between the Deathadder, the Microsoft 3.0, the Abysses and the FK1 from Zoe. And I placed the mic in front of the camera here as close as possible to the mices. so we can get as crisp and as good quality on the sound clicks as possible. So let's begin. The mouse 1 and 2 with the Razer Deathadder. And there is the Omron switches in the top and the Kale switches on the side. Here is the comparison with the Microsoft 3.0. And the scrolling wheel is broken, unfortunately. Okay, and here is the business. It doesn't have any side buttons, but mouse 1 and 2 and the scrolling wheel. And last but not least, the FK1 from Zoe. That has Huano switches. You can hear instantly that the way of the sound is much stiffer. And actually these sound a bit plastier as well, I don't know. But many people like that. I prefer these ones, the Omrons. I love the tactical feedback that the Omron switches gives on the Razer Deathadder. Okay, so let's do a comparison of the bottoms of the mice. And as you can see on the Deathadder, it has this medium-sized scale on the bottom and the two minor ones on the top. And if you compare that to like the FK1, it has the larger on top and on the bottom. But I don't really know which one glides the best. Seems like both are really good, but I guess that these smaller ones get like worn down a lot faster, and that you probably have to change them up a bit more often than the FK1. And if you compare the Abysses to the Deathadder, it seems like Razer has the same design on the skate area underneath, both the medium-sized on the bottom and the two minor ones on top. I have used this quite a lot, but it hasn't been so worn down. It starts to maybe. Nothing that I've been reacting over when like using the mouse. Okay, so let's compare the surface of the four models I have in front of me. The Deathadder has this matte black surface, as do the Zoe. But one thing I have noticed, that sweat doesn't actually show as well on the Deathadder as it does on the Zoe FK1. Because when you touch it, when you're kind of moist, it's warm weather in Sweden right now. And if you touch it, you can see it shows like disgusting sweat, but that isn't the case on the Deathadder. It doesn't show anything. See, let's compare to the... Yeah, you can see the difference here too. This one is so blank that it doesn't show anything. Old school material, hard plastic. But they look kind of the same, but doesn't feel really the same. Feels like these are harder plastic than the Deathadder. I don't know, it just feels like that. And the rubberized sides, they're very good. Okay, so I'm going to game some in the background while doing the final part in this review. Okay, so my thoughts about the Razer Deathadder Chroma. The Razer Deathadder Chroma is actually my #1 gaming mouse. It is the mouse I use personally after reviewing or just when playing. I don't think I've been this satisfied buying a mouse ever. I can't really put a finger on it, but it is a mix between like the size, the weight, the materials, the Omron switches, the snappy sensor and so on. The only negative thing I came across with the mouse is actually in the software, and that is the surface calibration tool. I like the higher lift-off distance, but when trying to play around with the surface calibration, doing it specifically for my mouse pad, the thing is that I didn't get it to work as I wanted it to. Maybe it's just that I need a period of time to play it in and get comfortable with the calibration that I just did. I don't know. But on the other hand, I like the setting of the sensor in original mode. That is just like exactly how I want it. But yeah, that is the only negative thing I can think of with the Deathadder. Well, there are one more thing. The side buttons. I end up like using only the one side button. I can't really like reach the first button before like losing focus of my grip or my situation when playing FPS. Maybe it is because of my grip or something. Okay, so let's watch me game some. Please subscribe, follow me on all the social medias if you want to help me and see more videos from me. And okay, enjoy my playing.